Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Good evening. Remember, last time we talked about the power of compounding to invest in stocks and why investment in stock with its growth rate higher than a growth rate in a bank account earns more. We touched a little bit on that. We used the formula, wrote the formula with which we are going to calculate the value of an investment, regular investment, at the end of 30 years. So you may have always wondered why? Why do we need to invest in stock market? Why not put the money in bank? It's safe, it's Fed FDIC insured. But the whole point in investing in stocks is to grow your money so that your money outlives your lifetime. And that you can only do by judiciously investing in stock market. Again, investment in stock market has risks because you can lose your entire principal. So use your due diligence in selecting the stocks that you're going to invest. Talk with your financial professional. Talk with your financial professional and do your due diligence, your research, and then start investing on a regular basis on a single stock or on a mutual fund, which is a collection of stocks, basket of stocks. But today I'm going to break it down in easy steps. Why that is an excellent growth idea. If you had any doubt, I'll break it up in steps so that you can easily understand the process. So before I get started, please subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button at the bottom right corner. Here, every day I talk about interesting topics, investments, math, whatever I feel like and whatever is of interest to you, you can shoot me a note and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So please subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button and please do not quit right away. And please give me a thumbs up if you really like my video. That really motivates me to produce more interesting videos just for you. So again, getting down to the nitty-gritty basic, we are going to talk about power of compounding, and we will give you a practical example which will show the real power of growth of compounding. Real power of compounding. So I'm going to use my whiteboard. So give me a minute. I will share my screen with you. So today we are going to talk about an example of power of compounding. Okay, that is the whole idea. So I'll select a particular stock which is well known here in the United States. It's Exxon Mobil. Again, I'm not suggesting you to invest. Please do your due diligence. That is, do your research, talk to your financial guy before you put money in this. But this is a good stock which has been in business for maybe 100 years. But we will look at only let's look at last 5 year of data. So the stock we are talking about is Exxon Mobil. Stock symbol is XOM. So I looked up in Yahoo before I started this lecture. Their 5 year growth rate of this stock is 142%. Is 142%. So that means approximately annual growth rate means yearly growth rate. Yearly growth rate is 142 divided by 5, which is 28.4%. Remember the formula I showed you last time? So give me a just a minute. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Bye. So as I was saying, the equation that we used last time, I will write on the board again. It is, so if this is the value of the investment when you make a regular monthly investment of P dollars at the end of each month. You may have been wondering, can I really grow rich investing in a single stock? Let's take a look at that. So, oops, pardon me, I'll fix it for you. So, let me make it a little larger. And then I will hit this, get rid of. So as I was saying, ExxonMobil in the last 5 years, total growth has been 142%. I divided that by 5 to get an approximate annual growth rate of 28.4%. Okay, so now I'm going to use the formula that we used last time, which is 1 plus I raised to the power of n minus 1 divided by I. You may be definitely wondering what all these symbols mean. That's letters P, I, V. So let's first start with V. So V is the value of the investment. That is the big amount of money that will grow at the end of an investment period. Remember, last time we were talking about investing money at the end of each month. And that money we are going to use, that value is P, is money invested at the end of each month. And then what is I? I is your monthly interest rate. Interest rate. Okay. So let's assume. Let's assume P. We are putting in $50 at the end of each month. This is $50 at the end of each. Not a huge sum of money. You can start as little with 50, 25, whatever is good for you. And we will just use the example of ExxonMobil from its last 5 years. So the annual growth rate is 28.4, which is 0.284, and we are going to divide it by 12 because there are 12 months in a year. Okay, and that works out to 0.0236. Okay, so let's make some space for ourselves. Okay, so now we are going to plug it in the formula, but before I do that, let me change the color of the ink to make it a little bit interesting. So now we have, so I hope you did not quit already because some interesting numbers are coming right now. Okay, so that means our equation is V, principal, the money we are putting at the end of each month is $50. 1 plus I, monthly interest rate, is 0.0236. Remember, we are investing for 30 years. So N is 30 years times 12 months per year minus 1 divided by the interest rate is 0.0236. Okay, so let's see what happens to that number. So this, remember, V is the value at the end of 30 years. So value is equal to 50 times 1.0236. The exponent is 30. The power is 30 times 12 is 360 minus 1 divided by 0.0236. So what is that equal to? 50. Let's do the numerator first. So I'll use my TI-84 calculator. 1.0236. I will exponent. Remember, exponent in TI-84 is the symbol below clear. That is the key. That is the exponent symbol. So I'll exponent it to 360. And that is equal to that is equal to 4435.06 minus 1 divided by 0.0236. So this will become equal to, sorry, this will become equal to, let me get rid of this and move the screen a little bit to this side and then move it up. So V is equal to, V is equal to 50 multiplied by 4435.06 minus 1 is 4434. And that's where the growth is coming. Now you can see 4434.06 divided by 0.0236. So value is equal to 50 multiplied by 4434.06, and that whole thing is divided by 0.0236. And the answer, you will be surprised what the answer is. It's 9,394 point, comma 195. Okay, so the total value of your investment at the end of 360 months or 30 years, provided you invested $50 regularly at the end of each month for 30 years, you grow your money. Like I discussed, invested amount is basically $50 a month for 12 months a year times 30 years. And that is equal to 50 times 12 times 30. And that is equal to 18,000. So you put in 18,000, regularly $60, $50 at the end of each month. And look at the growth. So the growth in money, growth in investment is equal to 9,394,195, 9,394,195 minus 18,000. That's the growth in your investment. And that's where we are talking about growth of compounding, the power of compounding, growth in compounding your investment. So 9,394,195 minus 18,000. And the answer is 9,376,195. That is the growth, not a small piece of change. Right? So you're investing 18,000 for 30 years, very punctually 30 years, $50 a month for 30 years, $50 at the end of each month for 30 years. And your money has grown to more than 9 million. Are you surprised or what? This is called the power of compounding. Now, ExxonMobil in the last 5 years, their growth rate has been 142%. But if you look at their growth rate for the last 40 years, okay, it has been exorbitant. It is 6,785.37%. Okay, so now you can think about it, how much your money will grow. So 6,785.37% was their growth in 40 years. So let's do some quick number crunching on for the 40 years, assuming that is the that will be the growth rate for the next 40 years. Again, stock market investment is full of risk. Nobody can assure you that for the next 40 years it will grow by 6,785.37%. Okay, so that's why we say do your due diligence, do your research, speak to your financial consultant before putting a large sum of money in the stock market. On the other hand, if you follow a regular monthly investment scheme, small amount of money, $50, then in long term means we're talking about 20 years, 30 years, your money can grow significantly as you saw in this calculation. But let's look at ExxonMobil for the last 40 years. So we are looking at last 40 years. Growth is and total growth rate is 6,785%. So annual growth rate is 6,785 divided by 40, which is equal to 169. Does it definitely grow by, will it definitely grow by 169.6 every month? No, every month? No. I mean, every year? No. But this is the track record for the last 40 years. So that will work out to, let me get my pen over here, is 169.6%. Okay. So monthly, then we can talk about monthly growth rate, assuming this value. Annual growth rate, monthly growth rate is equal to 169.6 divided by 12. And that will be equal to 169.6 divided by 12. is 14.13. So let's just keep it at 14%. Now we will use that same formula, and now we will again see the power of compounding, how the money can grow. So remember, you're investing $50 a month. So it's 1 plus your monthly interest rate, 14% in decimal is 0.14. And you are investing it for 30 years or 360 months, minus 1 divided by 0.14. Okay. And let's calculate this value. So this is V equal to 50 times 1.14. 1 plus 1.14 is 1.14 exponented to 360, which is unbelievable. 1.14 exponented to 360. I will write it down for you again to show you the benefit of compounding is 3.06 e to the power of 20, 10 to the power of 20 minus 1 divided by 0.14, and that will work out to V is equal to 50 multiplied by minus 1, enter, divided by 0.14 times 50. So this whole figure works out to 2.185 e to the power of 21. E to the power of 21 means 1 followed by 21 zeros, just to give you a perspective. So V is equal to, so that value is 1.09 times e to the power of 23 or 10 to the power of 23. Just to keep everything in perspective, 1 billion is 10 to the power of 9 and 1 trillion is 10 to the power of 12. Okay, so here you can see the power of compounding. You put the same amount of money, but if the growth rate is much faster, you can become not only a millionaire, but a billionaire or a trillionaire. Billionaire is not an impossibility provided the stock grows significantly. And we did this calculation based on the past 40 years of growth rate. Again, past record is not a suggestion that the stock will grow at the same rate as it did in the past 40 years. That most likely will not happen. But even then, you can get a fair estimate of how much your money can grow. Hey, I did two types of calculation, one with the last 5 years of growth rate. That's not a small chunk of money, too. That's 9 million, more than 9 million. And if you believe that it will grow at the same rate that it did in the last 40 years, then you can be a billionaire, provided you invest regularly $50 at the end of each month. What will be the actual truth? The actual truth, I think, will be somewhere in between, provided you are a very disciplined investment and invest regularly $50 at the end of each month in a particular stock or a mutual fund. So here you saw the power of compounding with a direct concrete example of a stock which is traded every day in the New York Stock Exchange. So again, just to mention, stock market investment is risky. Please do your due diligence before investing in stock market. But there is an advantage in stock market. Money can grow exponentially if the stock market or the particular stock is doing all right. Okay. There will be ups and downs, but eventually in the long run, the money will grow significantly. So I stop here today. Okay. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. That really motivates me to produce more interesting video just for you. And if you like this video, share with your friends. You and your friends, please subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button at the bottom right corner. Okay. And if you have any question, comment, please do not forget to write me a note. Please write your comments. Okay. I'll reply to each of one of your comments. Please let me know where you are watching from. And please do not forget to watch me tomorrow when I'll be back with another interesting video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a nice day. See you.